Yes, greetings. So yesterday we had a few some problems. So by the grace of God, I feel say I've rectified. I hope I have rectified the problem. So that's why you see me there right now, and you can hear me. So we want to go straight into, and for those out there who believe that this is reverse racist psychology, it is not. It's just the facts. But we're also remembering our brother Malcolm X, Amawali, Melika Shabazz, and we are support his family and the people, them, the rightly guided people that are helping the family for justice, some form of justice in relation to what happened to him. You know? And then to wake ourselves up to think that really, instead of listening to the firemen, what have we done? And what are we teaching, or guiding, or supporting our children to achieve? And I'm saying we as African people, African black people, because we need this, that definition is that we are African first, you know? But there's many of us that are culturally assimilated. And we like it, those who have done it, they like it like that because they get a job. Naturally, we all need a work to take care of ourselves and our families. But in relation to the assimilation, they disconnect. We disconnect. Those of us who we have disconnected ourselves from recognizing our African roots and African culture and accepting that we're African. That's also a critical part of assimilation that is the negative. And then we are showing that we're not, that we're incapable, not incompetent, incapable of organizing ourselves and accepting responsibility for ourselves, you know? And we tend to feel, because of the way we were educated and the social environments that we're in and the poverty and, you know, always having to strive hard more than any other persons or people in and around us to make something of our lives. So assimilation seemed to be the easiest path. But that's not how we were raised by our parents. That's not how we were raised and taught by our grandparents. We were taught to be proud of ourselves, not proud being negative, being positive. And in assimilation, there's so much negative. So when we look at ourselves in relation to that, we haven't got no schools, no educational structures. We just have the church. The church. And the church. So why if we listen to Uncle Tom, You know, that could be me. That could be you. That's us. And recognize values and behaviors, tendencies and partialities in this one speech, you know, before we go any further. Uncle Tom, 20th century Uncle Tom. We talk about society, we talk about major groups, we talk about values, we talk about responsibilities, we talk about behavior. This is what it is. So just don't say, well, cha, the man dead, why need to leave the man alone? We are him. He's us. Yeah, if you never know. So let me go through and not get too angry and represent ourselves, you know. Things and times, we deal with you, cultural expression, bang, bang.
He doesn't identify himself with your plight whatsoever. And this is the thing that the white people in America have got to come to realize, that there are two types of black people in this country. One who identifies with you so much so he will let you brutalize him and still beg you for a chance to sit next to you. And then there's one who's not interested in sitting next to you. He's not interested in being around. He's not interested in what you have. He wants something of his own. He wants to sit someplace where he can call his own. He doesn't want a seat in your restaurant where you can give him some old bad coffee or bad food. He wants his own restaurant. And he wants some land that he can build that restaurant on and a city that can go in. He wants something of his own. And when you realize that this type of thinking is existing and developing swiftly, behind the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad among the so-called Negroes, then I think you'll also realize that this whole phony effort at integration is no solution, because the most you can do with this phony effort toward integration is to put out some token integration. And whereas this Uncle Tom will accept your token effort, the masses of black people in this country are no more interested in token integration than they would be if you offered them a chance to sit inside a furnace somewhere. The only one who will do that is this 20th century Uncle Tom. And you can always tell him, because he wants to be next to you. He wants to eat with you. He wants to sleep with you. He wants to marry your woman, marry your mother, marry your sister, marry your daughter, and if you watch him close enough, he's even after your wife. This type has blind faith in your religion. He's not interested in any religion of his own. He believes in a white Jesus, white Mary, white angels, and he's trying to get to a white heaven. When you listen to him in his church sing, he sings a song, I think they call it, "Wash Me White as Snow." He wants to be turned white so he can go to heaven with a white man. It's not his fault. It's actually not his fault. But this is the state of his mind. This is the result of 400 years of brainwashing here in America. You have taken a man who is black on the outside and made him white on the inside. His brain is white as snow. His heart is white as snow. And therefore, whenever you say this is ours, he thinks he's white the same as you. So what's yours, he thinks it's also his. Even right on down to your woman. Now, many of them will take offense at my implying that he wants your woman. They'll say, no, this is what Bilbo and Talmadge and all of the white citizens' councils say. They say that to fool you. If this is not what they want, watch them. And if you find evidence to the contrary, then I'll take back my word. But all you have to do is give him a chance to get near you. And you'll find that he is not satisfied until he's sitting next to your woman or closer to her than that. So, what the Honorable, in this type of Negro, usually he hates black and loves white. He doesn't want to be black. He wants to be white. And he'll get on his bended knees and beg you for integration, which means he would rather rather than live with his own kind who love him, he'll force himself to live in neighborhoods around white people whom he knows don't mean him any good. And again I say, this is not his fault. He is sick. And as long as America listens to this sick Negro, who is begging to be integrated into the American society, despite the fact that the attitude and actions of whites are sufficient proof that he is not wanted, why then you are actually allowing him to force you into a position where you look just as sick as he looks. If someone holds a gun on a white man and makes him embrace me, put his arm around me, this isn't love, nor is it brotherhood. What they're doing is forcing the white man to be a hypocrite, to practice hypocrisy. But if that white man will put his arm around me willingly, voluntarily, of his own volition, then that's love, that's brotherhood, that's a solution to the problem. Likewise, as long as the government has to get out here and legislate to force Negroes into a white neighborhood, or force Negroes into a white school, or force Negroes into white industry, and make white people pretend that they go for this, all the government is doing is making white people be hypocrites. And rather than be classified as a bigot by putting a block, the average white person actually would rather put up a hypocritical face, the face of a hypocrite, than to tell the black man, no, you stay over there and let me stay over here. So that's no solution. As long as you force people to act in a hypocritical way, you'll never solve that problem. It has to be, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that a solution has to be devised that'll be satisfactory, completely satisfactory to the black man and completely satisfactory to the white man. And the only thing that makes white people completely satisfied and black people completely satisfied when they're in their right mind is when the black man has his own and the white man has his own. You have what you need, we have what we need. And then both of us have something, and even the Bible says, God bless the child that has his own. And the poor so-called Negro doesn't have his own name, doesn't have his own language, doesn't have his own culture, doesn't have his own history, he doesn't have his own country, he doesn't even have his own mind. And he thinks that he's black because God cursed him. He's not black because God cursed him. He's black because, rather he's cursed because he's out of his mind. He has lost his mind. He has a white mind instead of the type of mind that he should have. So, when these so-called Negroes who want integration try and force themselves into the white society, which doesn't solve the problem, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that that type of Negro is the one that creates the problem. And the type of white person who perpetuates the problem is the one who poses as a liberal and pretends that the Negro should be integrated, and as long as he integrates someone else's neighborhood. But all these whites that you see running around here talking about how liberal they are and we believe everybody should have what they want and go where they want and do what they want, as soon as a Negro moves into that white liberal's neighborhood, that white liberal he moves out faster than the white bigot from Mississippi, Alabama, and from someplace else. So we won't solve the problem listening to that Uncle Tom Negro, and the problem won't be solved listening to this so-called white liberal. The only time the problem is going to be solved is when a black man can sit down like a black man and a white man can sit down like a white man and make no excuses whatsoever with each other in discussing the problem. No offense will stem from factors that are brought up, but both of them have to sit down like men, one side and on the other side, and look at it in terms of black and white, and then take some kind of solution based upon the factors that we see rather than upon that which we would like to believe. And when I say that this Negro wants to force his way into the white man's family, this integrationist-minded Negro wants to force his way into the white man's family, some don't believe that. Some take issue with that. But you take all of the integrationists, all of the those who are used to finance the program of the integrationists, the average so-called Negro celebrity, put all of them in one pot. And as fast as you name them off, you'll find that every one of them is married either to a white woman or a white man. From Lena Horne, Eartha Kitt, Sammy Davis, and you could name them all night long. Although they say that this is not what we want, that's what they've done. That's what they have. And we don't, the black masses don't want what Lena Horne wants, or what Sammy Davis wants, or what, who's his name, the rest of them want. Usually you'll find that before Sammy Davis and Lena Horne and Eartha Kitt and Harry Belafonte become involved in a mixed marriage, you could go into the Negro community, anyone across the country, and find those stars with records on the jukeboxes in the Negro community. You can't walk into a Negro community today and find anybody that Negro community knows is involved in a mixed marriage with their records being popular in the Negro community. Subconsciously, a Negro doesn't have any respect or regard or confidence, or nor can he be moved by a black man who marries a white woman, or a black woman who marries a white man. And when they put out that picture to you that all of us want your woman, no, just that 20th century Uncle Tom. He wants her. And then when you think you're going to solve your problem by pleasing him, you're only making the problem worse. You have to go back and listen to the problem as it is for the black people, not by these hand-picked handful of Uncle Toms who benefit from token integration. Also, this type of so-called Negro, by being intoxicated over the white man, he never sees beyond the white man. He never sees beyond America. He never looks at himself or where he fits into things on the world stage. He only can see himself here in America, on the American stage or the white stage, where the white man is in the majority, where the white man is the boss. So this type of Negro always feels like he's outnumbered, or he's the underdog, or he's the minority. And it puts him in the role of a beggar, cowardly, humble, Uncle Tom and beggar on anything that he says is that should be his by right. Whereas there is, when it comes, he wants to be an American rather than to be black. He wants to be something other than what he is. And knowing that America is a white country, he knows he can't be black and be an American too. So he never calls himself black. He calls himself an American Negro, a Negro in America. And usually he'll deny his own race, his own color, just to be a second-class American. He'll deny his own history, his own culture. He'll deny all of his brothers and sisters in Africa and Asia, in the East, just to be a second-class American. He denies everything that he represents, or that everything that was in his past, just to be accepted into a country and into a government that has rejected him ever since he was brought here. So this Negro is sick. He has to be sick to try and force himself among some people who don't want him, or to be accepted into a government that has used its entire political system and educational system to keep him relegated to the role of a second-class citizen. And therefore, he spends a lifetime begging for acceptance into the same government that made slaves of his people. He gives his life for a country that made his people slaves and still confines them to the role of second-class citizens. And we feel that he wastes his time begging white politicians, political hypocrites, for civil rights or for some kind of first-class citizenship. He's like a watchdog or a hound dog. You may run into a dog. No matter how vicious a dog is, you find him out in the street, he won't bite you. But when you get him up on the porch, he will growl. He'll take your leg. Now that dog, when he's out in the street, only his own life is threatened. And he's never been trained to protect himself. He's only been trained by his master to think in terms of what's good for his master. So when you catch him in the street and you threaten him, he'll go around you. But when you come up through the gate when he's sitting on the master's porch, then he'll bare his fangs and get ready to bite you. Not because you're threatening him, but because you're threatening his master, who has trained him not to protect himself, but to protect the property of the master. And this type of 20th century Uncle Tom is the same way. He'll never attack you, but he'll attack me. I can run into him out in the street and blast him. He won't say a word. But if I look like I'm about to blast you in here, he'll open up his mouth and put up a better defense for you than you can put up for yourself. Because he hasn't been trained to defend himself. He has only been trained to open up his mouth in defense of his master. He hasn't been educated, he's been trained. When a man is educated, he can think for himself and defend himself and speak for himself. But this 20th century Uncle Tom Negro never opens up his mouth in defense of a black man. He opens up his mouth in defense of the white man, in defense of America, in defense of the American government. He doesn't even know where his government is because he doesn't know that he ever had one. He doesn't know where his country is because he doesn't know that he ever had one. He believes in exactly what he was taught in school, that when he was kidnapped by the white man, he was a savage in the jungle someplace, eating people and throwing spears and with a bone in his nose. And the average American Negro has that concept of the African continent. It is not his fault. This is what has been given to him by the American educational system.
This young lady right there.
I'd like to make a comment to Mr. Malcolm. Now, you're right, of course, the black people are the worst. They have had the worst treatment. But isn't it also possible that if the white people, the poor people, the people down in my neighborhood, the white people, those that don't work, those that are on welfare, those that have nothing, if they got together too, and you help us, we'll help you. You help us get up there. you help us get rid of some of these people that are pressing down on us.
No, I say you should be just as active in your neighborhood as you have been in our neighborhood.
Is that possible? All right, we get our neighborhood built up. Everybody's going for something. We alone, there are too few of us. There are too many men up there with all their cop cars and everything.
That's what they're always telling you. Never let your enemy tell you how many of you there are. Never let the man that you're against form your opinions. This is the trick that's played on everyone who's oppressed. The first thing, an occupation, when you have a revolution in the country, the first thing you take over is the radio. And then you start telling the people, everybody, the war is over. And so all of them surrender. No, they believe that thing right there. And once they take that over, they start telling you where you are and where they are, and you fall right in line. It's plain thought control. The majority of the American people aren't segregationists. That the majority of the American people aren't imperialists. But the government is, the structure is, the power faction is. So, how then do all the majority go along with it? Because those who sit in power over the television, over the radio, and over the press is constantly telling those who are the masses how free they are. And how this they are and how that they are. So a mistake is made on your part when you think that white people suffer the same as black people. Or as many Jews will say, well, we're a minority too. Or the Irish will say, well, we used to be a minority. No one's a minority like we are. They didn't need civil rights legislation to solve any other minority problem. It didn't take a civil war to solve any other minority problem. It didn't take Supreme Court decisions to solve any other minority problem or legislation. It takes none of that action to solve the minority problems of these other people. The only real minority in America is the Afro-American. Now, when white people, who are oppressed and poor, supposedly, but the poorest white person can go where the richest black person can't. It isn't only poverty in money that we're talking about. Poverty in spirit, poverty in freedom, poverty in equality, poverty in human dignity. This is the kind of poverty we're suffering from. So that the richest Negro in this country is still poor. When it comes to freedom, he's broke. When it comes to human dignity, he's broke. This is the kind of poverty we're talking about. So when you find white people who are poor, with all these doors that there are open to them, any door that you knock on, if you're qualified, it'll open. So when you find a poor white person, he's in bad shape. He's in...
In both of these...
Now, listener, take your piece of paper, pencil. Yes, pay attention. This is university. Now you see on the screen what you were supposed to get last night. So pay attention. We'll go straight into Africa and debunk all that nonsense about Christianity and the continent of Africa. Stop it.
And both of these are hard to come by. This one isn't as hard to come by as this one, but this one is called Africa's Lost Past, the startling rediscovery of a continent. And this was put together by...
and everything you see right here, right now, it is Mali, Senegal. This is Timbuktu, the whole region. See? Everything. Everything. Okay. Let's go.
Professors. It's called Africa's Lost Past, the startling rediscovery of a continent. And this was put together by professors who were commissioned by the nations that belong to the UN after the Africans got their independence. After the Africans got their independence, they expressed complete indignation over the misrepresentation that the African continent had received while they were under the domination of the white man. So they pressured the UN to take some of the leading scientists of this day to delve into the true history of Africa and compile a pamphlet on the lost civilizations. And so this book is a record put out by the UN, endorsed by the UN, which means it has the recognition and endorsement of all civilized, free, and independent nations on this earth. And in this book, it tells you, in a nutshell,
about the Islamic civilizations that existed in Africa in the 8th century. The Islamic civilization, you know what that means? Muslim civilization. It means, please, it means that the Muslim empire, that the Muslim religion, that the Muslim culture, Muslim civilization was throughout West Africa in the area called Ghana, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Gold Coast, Nigeria, all down through there. Vast Muslim empire in the 8th century. You know what I mean by 8th century? In the year 700 something. Wait a minute. 8th century. Yeah. Right? Yeah, 700 something. This means 800 years before America was discovered. 800 years before America was discovered. 800 years before you were kidnapped and brought here. I have to emphasize kidnapped and brought here because some of y'all think you come over here as pilgrims on the Mayflower. But 800 years before our forefathers were kidnapped and brought here, the white man admits today that the Islamic civilization, the Muslim civilization, stretched throughout Africa. And he has to admit it now. And just to read you one paragraph from this book to show you why he didn't want to go into it. And frankly, in one of our court cases in Buffalo, New York, a couple of weeks ago, the white man, because he couldn't get a Muslim to testify against Mr. Muhammad, he went to Columbia University and found a Jew professor who was supposed to have been an expert on Islam. And he paid this Jew to come as his witness for the state and try and prove that Mr. Muhammad wasn't a real Muslim, and also that there was no Islamic culture in Africa, that it's wrong to tell Negroes that we should be Muslims now because we were Muslim then, because there was no Muslim civilization in Africa. This is what this old man testified to, white man. So naturally, Allah blessed us to have this book from the UN, and he had to recognize it. Here in one paragraph it says, but the ancient capital of Ghana has another claim to distinction. It was the cradle of the Negro Islamic culture which flourished in the Sudan from the 8th century to our own day. Think of that. Bringing to fame such centers as Timbuktu and Djinn. Now, you know, brothers and sisters, you and I never heard of Timbuktu. When I was in school, they taught that Timbuktu talk. I thought Timbuktu was in California. And I went to school in Michigan. They never let us know that Timbuktu was in Africa. But here now they are saying that Timbuktu was one of the centers of learning in an Islamic civilization that existed in Africa 700 or 800 years before America was discovered. This is good. And when the man was trying to say that there was no, he also went on, but they read this paragraph, which said, in some ways the most valuable of all the Arab sources are the first-hand reports of the two, as far as I know, the only two Arab traveler authors who made extensive journeys through the Western Sudan. And by Western Sudan in those days, they meant Africa. All of Africa was called the Sudan, because Sudan is an Arabic word that means, it's plural for black. When you say Sudan, you're talking about the land of the blacks. So here, it's speaking of these two Arabs who made journeys through the Western Sudan, which means West Africa. Ibn Battuta and Leo Africanus, both were remarkable men. Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Battuta, notice how they call him, they didn't say Jim Jones. Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Battuta, that's the kind of name you had before you came here, was born at Tangier in 1304. Pick up on this, 1304. America wasn't discovered until 1492. That's almost 200 years later. And spent the greater part of his life traveling through the Muslim world of his day, visiting Arabia, Asia Minor, Khorasan, India, China, and Indonesia, as well as West Africa. You notice now what he said. He traveled through the Muslim world. And all of these countries that he traveled in were parts of the Muslim world. And he said, as well as West Africa. And see, the white men have taught you and me that in Africa, West Africa, people was eating, they were cannibals, like this cracker tried to say last night on the television. Which he reached in 1352. At this time, the empire of Mali still dominated the western Sudan, and Ibn Battuta gives an extremely interesting and human account of some of its institutions. Here's what he says. Speaking in the year 1352, 100 and some years before the discovery of America, quote, the Negroes possess some admirable qualities. Now what you have to understand is, he didn't say Negroes, because he wrote this in Arabic. And these white professors have translated what Ibn Battuta wrote in Arabic into English. And so they saying Negroes, but wherein Battuta, when he wrote it, he didn't say Negroes, because they didn't call black people Negroes in those days. See, you have to know all this in order to really read between the lines. The Negroes, meaning us, this is before America was discovered, possess some admirable qualities. They are seldom unjust, have a greater abhorrence of injustice than any other people. Let's pick up on it. Here this man, before America is discovered, is talking about black people are different from white people. Isn't that what he said? He said black people are against injustice. Black people are more so against injustice than any other people are against injustice. Why, this follows, you know the white man is not against injustice. He wouldn't have this country if he was. And he wouldn't have you here if he was. You wouldn't be as dumb as you are if the white man was against injustice. Don't be angry when I say you wouldn't be as dumb as you are. Because when I say, I mean we, all of us, we're all in the same boat. And we're dumb. Don't say we're not. How are we going to be in this boat if we weren't dumb? You can't put a wise man in this kind of shape, and we're in bad shape. You don't get in this kind of shape being wise. You get in this kind of shape being dumb. Right or wrong? Let's see. So he says here, their sultan, meaning their ruler, shows no mercy to anyone who is guilty of the least act of injustice. Without, you see, our civilization then was so right. It was right. Didn't have nothing but justice. No crime, no stealing, no fairies running around like you got throughout the Negro community today. There is complete security in their country. Talking about the civilization where you and I live. Complete security. No robbers. No murderers. Brother, this actually is describing heaven. This is what the man is doing. He is describing a civilization that has such high morals, such a high sense of morality, that it's almost like being in heaven. Neither traveler nor inhabitant in their country has anything to fear from robbers or men of violence. They are careful to observe the hours of prayer. On Fridays, if a man does not go early to the mosque, he cannot find the corner to pray in on account of the crowd. So many people go to the mosque to pray on Friday. The man says that if you don't get there ahead of time, you can't get in. Because these people by nature are religious. These people by nature turn to Allah to give praise and to give thanks. Brother, this is being written 200 years before the white man knew that the earth was round.
Yes, so I managed to correct my errors of yesterday. So we'll go through. I hope everybody just stay cool, stay calm, stay collective, share, and yeah, and link other people and think about it, because we have a long journey, we as African people. I can shorten it still, you know. The shortness is just to take a trip to Africa. Take a trip to Africa. Don't worry about yellow fever. Yeah, we have a concern with yellow fever, malaria, and these things. But you just take a visit to the tropical hospital. You know, there's one there at Tottenham Court Road. You know what I mean? And get all the right, if you don't have them already, get all the right information and just tell the people them where you're going. Where you go Zimbabwe, where you go Nigeria, where you go Ethiopia, where you go Uganda, where you go Tanzania, where you go Kenya, where you go Zambia, you know? But name but a few. You understand? That's a long few, innit? And you will get the appropriate vaccinations or medication. You know what I mean? In some cases, you might already have typhoid fever in vaccination many years ago, which is still pertinent today. And you may have had the yellow fever, and you still have your certificate and everything, because it's important to have those. If you don't have the certificate, then your mouth is not working. You understand? Because you can't just tell the people, this, and this. And if it is within the last 5 years, then the data will be there. You see? But if it's longer than that, like me, you understand, up in the 90s and that, then there's some difficulties. If you can't find a card and everything, then there'll be some difficulties, because the people then weren't up on the data. It was DOS back then and punching cards and everything. So anyway, it's Africa, you know what I mean? And I'm saying that because some people would have tell the next person, why the mosquito them in a no. Just go get the appropriate things them and you're good to go. And just don't make sure you have like £300, which you call loose money, because you don't have bartering skills. You understand? And yeah, you're there for a month or whatever. Things good. And that £300 that me I said loose money, it's a fair amount, you know. It will go a long way, but me I say that because we're gonna make mistake. Seriously. Because the people them see we, yeah, them see we. And we have to have bartering skills. You know, when you go out there buy things and everything, when you go buy food stuff and so forth, right? Them not rob we, but this is the nature of people, you know. Them see currency. Yeah? Them smell we, them see we, man. You understand? So once you have that, I'm saying that, once you have that, you're not going to make no complaint, because we call that miscellaneous expenditure. We want to write it down, miscellaneous expenditure. And you're good to go. You understand? Within what, 3 days and everything, right? You still have what, £250, you know? Because, hey, you just get some clues, you know what I mean? On how to work it and everything. And sometimes it's not good for talk. You just point at things and so forth, right? And you see that if you look from where you're looking at, look somewhere else, and you see sometimes the people them take the card and change the card quick. You understand? Because just in case you come by them now, they want to inflate the something. So you just have to be spotty, man. I mean, and then, yeah, that's it. So everything's beautiful, man. You just check it out, see it, and you sit here and say, wow. And if you're a person who have traveled from here to the Caribbean and everything, you just realize that the British people, them very bright, because look what they did to us. You know what I mean? And then the next thing that would happen is you smell fruits, and you really feel good. You're smelling fruits. You're not seeing fruits and that. You smell fruits. And Hey, it just I tell you, say, listen, that's a guava, that's a pineapple, these bananas, and you not see them, you smell them. So your body just wake up. Yeah, man, the body wake up to nature and you feel good. Seriously. Well, I don't know. Go and experience it. Africa awaits us. Come.
Now this is a musical thunderblast. Now don't you go crazy, the ground. Just whop it on the line, whop it, baby. I'm greedy man, Cassius Clay.
What I didn't say is this. You see, each person that Elijah Muhammad parcel out to different states, they had responsibilities, and it was for them to shape and steer the communities that they are going to be, that they were dispatched to or applied to. Melika Shabazz Al-Mawali, Malcolm X, did not go with the Bible. I hope you all realize that, And he wasn't with the norm. His passion was the people. It's all about empowerment of us. But you also had other ministers that had their own persona and their own interests. But Melika Shabazz and two others were of the nature of Black African redemption. It was all about developing self and being creative and accepting responsibility and all those things. Where all the others, them could not help going into the Bible and examining and re-examining and articulating and so forth and so forth. And him never did that. If him give you one shot from the Bible is to say that, listen, God say you have to get up and do something to get something. You know? Yeah. You understand? So with all the firebrands, them, he weren't one of those. He was a people's man. He's a people's man. You know? He had a revolutionary mind for the people, them African people. And wanted we to rise up, be independent, and taste freedom. And then pursue ourselves, develop ourselves in the pursuit of knowledge, education, so we can develop our own structures, our own infrastructures, our own, you understand? And become harmonious. So you see, when him reach Africa and him see what Ibn Battuta and them was speaking of, and him see signs of it for himself, it just gave him a boost, a serious boost. And he wasn't liked or loved because him a tear down and rare, no. Because I'm not tear down, he was telling the truth. Anyone who take organic medicine, there's very few that are sweet to the taste. Very few that is sweet to the taste. What am I saying? We like to think that it's fitting to do whatever our oppressors want us to do. But it's not fitting, not befitting to do what we want us to do. Because we're so uncouth or we're so harsh and all these things. Where you get that from? The same people them who been teaching us, who's been instructing us. So when someone like him come out now hard, you know, it come like so many deaf ears. But people, depending on what and what, then will say, yeah, you know, but not do anything. See what I mean? Yeah, but don't do. So when we listen to Malcolm Shabazz, Alma Wali, Malcolm X, he wasn't just saying something. He must say, do something. He must give us an understanding, a realization of action we need to, and don't be afraid. And be courageous. Those other firemen, them just I tell you, whatever people, they're telling us what those people are thinking, what those people are planning, what those people are going to do, and so forth and so forth. And not what we should be thinking, and not what we should be doing or attempting to do. So what they've been selling us is a marketing tool because it's the image. You cannot knock the image. Clean cut, well dressed, well mannered, and ready to put them life in front of the enemy. Really? I was thinking that all the time. They would represent the organization. They're not representing the whole. The whole is us. They would represent the organization. They would tear anybody down that come and oppose the organization. Rightly so. But I used to feel that they would be there supporting us, the people. Because if they were really doing that, some of the ills that takes place in America and all over America, and especially in their headquarters, would have been rooted out long time. Because we're not talking about a couple of years. We're talking about decades. So it's got a history, but it's not being fruitful. It's not being fruitful. It's just like all those churches keep talking. And they made God obsolete because them turn God into a human and make God have limitations and them contradict God and give you a perception that God contradicts himself, God contradicts self, and God has a favorite set of people, not a favorite attitude. I must come back to that, because this thing is so divisive. When them say God have a favorite set of people out of all his creation, wow, terrible, terrible things. So I get some 12 tribe of Israel Orthodox style, bringing one of our boy stars, Delroy Wilson, to the turntable. But before we do that, we'll finish off with Scotty. Come, we're not finish off, we're inject with Scotty. Come, we just interrupt him, but we'll go to our next track. Come.
Yeah, maybe I tell about this music and this now. Cannot miss. Wow, it is too quick. No, come on, brother, sing your song.
And don't get anything twisted, my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, and them, they were all in the church. You know what I mean? They may not be in the traditional church, but they had the tie-up head and the tambourines and everything, you know what I mean? Highly spiritual, you know, blazing sweats and everything. Yes. Some are shout out Jehovah and all kind of thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? But you can't ask them about God and them point upon the cross. No, that not work. That was not working, man. You understand? It's just some other people and certain other things come and people start worshiping that cross. And then, well, I don't know if they're worshiping it, but them had it as their deity or something. Them had it as something. It was precious to them. You understand? So I can't, and that's not just my grandparents. There's people in general. There's some people that hug up that something there. But I know them, that my grandmother and them people, with them tie-up head and everything, them spiritualists and them tambourine people and so forth, that would be chanting and beating the drum and everything. Long hours, you know what I mean? I'm telling you. Friday night, them in a something. And them, when sunrise come, I when them done. You know what I mean? And sometimes them go on quiet because a lot of them drop out. Them sweat profusely. And next thing you know, they're in the spirit and them are tremble and everything, you know. And people pass out. So where you have 100 persons or 60 persons, you finish up with only 5 standing. And sometimes all of them gone. You understand? But they will all wake up or get up. Yeah. And refresh themselves, because them have pot, them have porridge, them have everything. But we the children, them we eat bun and fish cakes and all kind of something, you know. If we're not sleeping. Because maybe we're full of our belly long time and we are asleep. You know what I mean? And sometimes we they asleep long and we get up and we see all of them asleep. You know what I mean? All of them knock out. them they both on the floor and everything. So when them raise up and them have them porridge or whatever them have, we get another fill. We the children. You know what I mean? And then them start praying. And their prayers are not short. Them pray long. You know? And your knee hurt. The knee gets sore. I tell you, because them have it there kneel down long enough. Oh, gosh, man. You see it there. So we come from far place. Far place. So, yes, Scotty, come back.
Yeah. Maybe I tell about this musical this now. Cannot miss. Wow, it is too quick. No, come on, no, brother. Think you, sir. Do I worry? Cause you really stepping out on me, girl.
Do I worry?
And I want to know if I really worry. Because you have me down. Do your kisses aren't right, girl? And you're always out of sight, and I can hardly see them. And you even let I stay home each and every night and read I magazine. Wow.
Am I frantic?
I am real frantic, girl. Cause it's a real pain upon me, and it hurt me badly.
And when evening shadows creep, do I lose any sleep over you?
And I want to know if I worry. Cause you can really bet your life that I do. I really do, girl. Now come on in, brother. Play your musical song now. ask you again. And do I really worry, girl? Because it's a pain on me. And when evening shadows creep, you really let I lose all I sleep over you, girl. And maybe I don't like it.
Am I frantic?
I am really going crazy, crazy now, pretty baby. And I'm really getting hazy.
And when evening shadows creep, do I lose any sleep over you?
Oh.
Do I worry?
I tell the girl, you can really bet the sweet life, but I really worry. Wow. And yes, I do, girl. I can't stop worrying.
I worry.
Come on, nothing but I worry.
Do I worry?
I really worry.
Man called Benji required, man. Straight at the control tower. Benji, Juice, man. Yes, we are going it. Settle Marcia, we say Benji. We never say Marcia. Juice, Benji, you wanted the control tower immediately. Long time we are calling, man. Stop it and come.
All I need is loving.
Man call Delroy Crucial Wilson. May I tell you, man. Watch it. Benji. Stop it, man. We are calling a long time and I'll make me try too hard. Come, sir.
All I need is loving. Perfect loving.
See, when you deal with Orthodox style, you deal with what? Sweetness, man. Listen. Yo, Benji, you want some what? You want some ginger, man, and some moringa. Come, man.
All I need is loving. Perfect loving. Listen to me, baby. That's all I got to say. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you care.
Yo, you see the symbolism that this station does give? If you're blind, you miss it, you know. You shouldn't miss it. May I tell you, man. This commercialization is free and it's intelligent. Just don't miss it. Seriously, we are seeing so much symbolism out there. You understand? Oh gosh, man. Even the blind is happy and the deaf and the dumb are rejoicing. So what happened to the one them that can see? Eh? Stop or going somewhere and go on like, Benji, we love you, man, come.
All I need is loving. Perfect loving. Listen to me, baby. That's all I got to say. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you care. Tell me that you need me. These words I want to hear. I need your loving, oh yeah. Your gentle loving.
12 Tribe, come!
You may not be a movie star. You may not drive a big boss car, but I love you in every way. I love you in every day. I don't know why. Oh, why? But just
Easy peace officer, you know, say, a tip a tone sound this man. Easy. Benji, set the peace officer up, man. Set him up. Give him a moringa juice, man. Benji, give him a moringa juice, man. Make him feel good, you know? So him can just spread the news and don't bother we. Protect we. Come! What a song!
You may not be a movie star, you may not drive a big boss car, but I love you in every way. I love you in every day. I don't know why, but just you and maybe too tight. And folks may say they don't look right, but I love you in every way.
What a song, sweetie. Come again, sir.
You coulda run as fast as you can. I'm gonna catch you. You coulda run as fast as you can. I'm gonna catch you. You coulda hide till you cannot no more. I'm gonna find you. You coulda run
Spotlight shine bright on
as
me right
fast
there.
as you can. I'm gonna catch you.
Yeah. Up this, sir. We are dealing with. Come.
When you need a good loving, when you need a good hugging.
Now, Sister Judah knows me know that you know I love you, you know. Oh, go on. Don't worry yourself with Benji, you know. Watch it. Yeah.
When you need a good loving, when you need a good hugging.
Call on me.
Love and affection, a heart so true. Here's what they're asking. I've got it all right here for you.
I love you well.
You needn't be lonely. You shouldn't be blue, baby. I'll design a life of love for you. And here's all you got to do. When you need a good loving, darling, or when you need a good kissing, yeah. When you need a good hugging, yeah. Won't you call on me?
I tell you, man. Sweet. Come. Put you in your place, man. Listen. Yeah. Sing.
Put yourself in my place, only for a day. See if you can stand this loneliness I feel inside. Ooh, baby, put yourself in my place, only for a day. See if you
Here come, hey, yo, hold up. Now this is Mr. Alton Ellis, Sir Alton Ellis. Okay.
It's a shame the way you mess.
Massive, may I tell you, man. There we come.
It's a shame for what you've done to me. It's a shame, the way you mess about with your man. It's a shame, the way you hurt me, darling. It's a shame, the way you mess about with your man.
Yeah, you ever watch Rasta women, may I tell you, man, just modest and look gorgeous.
It's a shame for what you've done to me.
I tell you, man, modesty.
It's a shame,
They're right.
when you mess about with your man. It's a shame, the way you hurt me, darling. It's a shame, the way you mess about with your man. Look what you've done to me. You leave me sad and blue, and then you went away. You better come back home, darling. It's a shame, the way you mess about with your man. It's a shame, the way you hurt me, baby. It's a shame, the way you mess about with your man. You're like a child at play on a cloudy day. You better stop what you're doing before it's too late, darling.
They're right. We are telling you, I'm crying for you. Now this happened to be a hit-bound musical disc played by the release version on this station.
My resistance is getting weaker. I just can't stand the pressure. I can't be any weaker. I've got to find some other treasure. I need nothing to be a big man, because I was born man, and I deserve the right to be like any other man. My mind is in such a state. Sometimes it makes me sick. At times I try to hate, but I just don't know the trick. I need nothing to be a man, because I was born a man, and I deserve the right to be like any other man.
So you got the Channel One family, brand new on the scene, you know. Channel One family, Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare, man, I tell you, man, and the chin.
Run as fast as you can.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you. You could run as fast as you can.
to the top of the what? Feel good all over. Come! So now we are playing a visit to King Toby's studio. Come, come, come! Benji and Sister Judah, Sister Aisha. Come. Brother Naphtali, yeah, Brother Zebulon, wow, Brother Tabby. Oh, gosh, man. Sit them over here.
Against my hollow bones, that I rocks my soul. Oh, yeah. Something is holding me back. Is it because of that? Oh yeah. Something is holding me back. Looking back over my folks' streets that I once knew, wondering why my dreams never came true. Is it because I'm bad? Oh, somebody tell me what can I do?
I tell you, man, you see when Rasta do them thing, serious thing, you know, sweet. So where we going now? We're going to have them people them behave badly and they want to call something dance hall. I'm going to string up my sound in the hall. Come again. Yo, Marcia, come over here. Immediately. Come to me. Watch it, sweet.
Many a guy has come to you with the line wasn't true, and you pass them by, pass them by. You even see the rain, and the line don't mean nothing. Why don't you let me try? Let me try. Now I don't wear a diamond ring. I don't even know a song to sing. All I know is la 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 means I love you.
Yeah, you see, Marcia, you see me talk to you? Don't let go, you know. Hold on, don't move. Hey, don't squeeze me. You're hurting, man. I told you don't move. I never tell you to squeeze me. Sweet. Ladies,
Living in the footsteps of another man, I'm leaving you.
no.
Living in the footsteps of another man, I'm leaving. This baby's here, so busy starving.
imagine a 4-track, you know. You see? And we go on so good. You see? I'm at their school, you know. Yeah, man, I'm at their school. I'm a romance. And my mother teach me. Yes, she, what? She guide me. Come on, sir. I don't want you. You're too pretty.
Oh yeah, I don't baby.
And you know it's true. Yeah, you want to hear sound like Nibble Day chanting. Oh gosh, man. No.
Oh yeah,
La, 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 la.
I don't baby.
You know it's true. Listen.
I don't want no pretty girl. I just want an ordinary looking girl. I said I don't want no pretty girl. I just want an ordinary looking girl. This girl is too hard to keep. You have to sow while others reap. This girl is loved by every guy in town, and too much guys keep running her down. So I don't want no
Classics. Classic. May I tell you.
oh yeah,
Chivo.
I don't baby.
Baby. Chihuahua.
I don't want no pretty girl. I just want an ordinary looking girl.
I'm looking at you.
I said I don't want no pretty girl. I just want an ordinary looking girl. This girl is too hard to keep. You have to sow while others reap. This girl is loved by every guy in town, and too much guys keep running her down. So I don't want no pretty girl.
Baby.
I just want an ordinary looking girl.
I'm watching you.
I said I don't want no pretty girl.
Otherwise meaning.
I just want an ordinary looking girl. As quick as you can wink your eye, you can lose her to another guy. I want someone who cause no rush, someone who no one notices her much. I don't want.
And them time you have to learn that what you have is yours, you know. Don't bother look elsewhere. May I tell you, trouble. So you tell her, say, watch out, I'm the one who love you, you know. Well, I tell you, and you don't have like 50 cents in your pocket. And in England, that's 10 shillings, you know. May I tell you, man. Oh, gosh. Classic.
I wanna be with you the whole life. You hold your hands to let you understand. I'm the one who loves you. Yes, I'm the one who needs you. So bad, so bad, so bad, it's about to drive me mad. And I'll be there by your side to see you right, to be your guide. I'm the one who loves you. Yes, I'm the one who needs you. So bad, so bad, so bad, it's about to drive me mad.
Yeah, you see Al Franco, no? Hey, Franco, sack this man, I tell you, man, Franco. Oh, gosh, man. So we deal with what? The last one, I'm gone, you know. So we going now from here. I'll go for the last one. Now, we mention Franco. I'll go play one in. Oh, gosh, man. Yes. So we'll go one more after this, and we're gone. Delroy, young Delroy. here in England, you know, you see the West India dock, make them Windrush people come talk. You see the West India dock, you go up there, so, and your family send record, send a parcel, you know. So you get a letter showing you say, that these are the contents and everything, you know. And some families, them rush, because especially if them just keep party and blues and everything, then rush go up, you understand, because they don't want somebody now for split the parcel and take the record them out. Yeah, man. And then a white person do that, you know. A we do that, split the thing, you understand? Yeah, man. Make out so that it's true it fall down and go through all this moving and everything, yeah? And them such it, you understand? So you go up there now and you get records like these, you know what I mean? And your auntie, she scribe something upon it, you know, because most of them was white label and everything, you know. See? And them just scribe something upon it and just say that is this, that, and, you know, whatever name them give, and, you know what I mean? So a little more, you just make them know, say, let me know who I sing the thing, man, and everything. Because them, sometimes their title does be right, and sometimes by the time the thing, if any of them get released, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? So you write back and say, listen, you was close enough, but you were not close enough. You know what I mean? So find out who sing that something and write upon something. But the most important thing them used to do is mark the side that them that is the ear side. You understand? Because pre-release, you know. You see what I mean? And then me learn the trademark, because you can look on the stamper and see inside the stamper it says ear, and then you flip it, and sometimes it's a double ear, and sometimes you flip it and it just might be, you understand? But you have to have them understanding. And we did. Young Delight.
Away illiteracy. It's time I act intelligently to show them our revenge is sweet. From I was a boy, I bear this name. Now I am a man. They call it the same name. A girl have a son for me just the other day. I can't let the boy come here think about me. Tell them, one. Tell them, one. Not 2 and 3 and 4.
1. Yes, so we went to school and we went to college in the Orthodox style with the artist Delroy Wilson. Yeah. So now we are going. So we gave a whole heap of food for thought for food. Yeah. Share it with others and make some impression on yourself in that safe environment called your home. And don't make yourself pitiful but you run about carnival with your queen. You call her your queen. You call her your wife. You call her everything. And then you go down there, sir, and disrespect her. And make her disrespect herself. You see? So, if you really have something to do with this person, be humble. And let them know, say, listen, have some dignity. That's if you're attending these places. You understand? Because this is where we just get vulgar and nasty, especially our women today. You understand? So where go we still? You know, that which is for me, maybe it's not for you. You see? King Rocker, yeah, spoil it.
Come make we touch down in a culture. Ribbity bong, make we touch down in a culture. Come make we touch down in a culture, Lord. Hey, because the more we are together, together. I say the more we are together. So what a happier we all shall be. Hey, Johnny say stick together, we have to stick together. Go on, stick together, we have to stick together. Charge and tell your black man them are the hardest worker. Jack tell you most Greeks know one another. But me I tell you if we stick together. Me no care if a ball head or rasta. Me no mind when nationality or color. We all get together, make we praise up Jaja. Cause him are the Father, the Holy Savior. So pass the chalice pipe full of sesamilia. Make we read the Bible, the Holy Scripture. Cause the more we are together, together. I say the more we are together. Say what a happier we all shall be. Hey, Johnny say each and every night me read my Bible. Open it up and me read a Bible. Me read about Jesus and the 12 disciples. The God put a tree of knowledge for good and evil. He put Adam and Eve in a the Garden of Eden. Eve conceived and gave birth to Cain and Abel. So the more we are together, together. I say the more we are together. Say what a happier we all shall be. Hey, Johnny say Jackie a finger and create a man. And little lover that him create a woman. And put them together pan a piece of land. Cause you know two head he better than one. Say that's how we start this world generation. You come a mic stand for your information.
Yeah, you see, information and education, we used to be full of it. See? So you just heard just a sneak. And you know see something just happened. Tell your friend. Yeah, I mean, come around we again. Mercy, Lord have mercy. So we gone. Wash your face, wash your hand. You know what I mean? Purify yourself with the water. Oh, gosh, man. Things in time, cultural expression, we gone. Give thanks.
Mercy, mercy, mercy.
Yo, Benji, what you say? Luciana. Ah, okay. Just for you. Benji is the new juice man on the scene, you know. I tell you, man, juice, you understand? With Aisha taught him, you understand? Aisha for him teacher. So him now get to understand something, because him just come back from Tanzania. Fresh, you understand? So Benji I come now with some new things, you know what I mean? When I say new, it might come with some flavor, but it definitely is not smoothies, it's juice, you know? Yeah, man. Oh, gosh, man. You see, and Benji is a Muslim. Benji used to be a Rasta. And him still far right. Because him is roots. You understand? It's ital, Benji, and vital. You see, and we love him. And we never see him for many moons. You see? So now me have my basketball partner. Now me have my juice in hand. I tell you, man. And we have my reading partner. I tell you, Benji. I tell you, man. Benji. Oh, gosh, man. Hey, I hope staying and look for my daughter, you know. I tell you, serious thing. You all know, you know. You can't do that. Man called Crucial, Mr. Crucial, Luciana. Whoa. Guidance. For real. Whoa, whoa. Just people come together. Whoa, whoa. Just people come together. And, for the world is trouble. And living ain't easy. The world is trouble. You've got to believe me. The world is trouble. And living ain't easy. The whole world is in trouble. You've got to believe me. That's the way all evils fail. Don't play a hero, you'll end down in hell. You've got your troubles and I've got mine. Let's work together to make things fine. We gotta be sure of all the things we do. Preserve our lives being pure and true. The things we feel and see we're meant to be is that fulfillment of prophecy. The world is just trouble. And living ain't easy. The world is trouble. You've got to believe me. Yes, the world is trouble. Yes, so we'll leave you with this international announcement. You see, Medical Shabazz Al-Mawali, Malcolm X, the case is on the move, you see? So we, the people, especially in the diaspora, we have to be in support. Oh yes, we have to be in support. They don't need $1 billion or nothing. We just need to be in support. So once we pay attention, you understand? And the not most intelligent, but the wise one among us, you know, to send all kind of, not just condolences, you know, but approvals, you know, just to show the people them, especially the solicitor company and his children, that we are in attendance, we are paying attention, we're standing to attention, we're observing, we're praying, we're chanting, you know. Oh yes, you see? Because there will be a time, this time, when we want an international recognition. See? So every man, woman, and child would be somewhere on the internet or something. I say Melek, Alban Wally, Malcolm X, Freedom. And that we are going to work with. See? So, for all those people say, well, boy, all this demonstration, you see, when George Floyd did get murdered, did you recognize what happened? Well, that we want to happen and can happen for Melek El Shabazz, Alma Wali, Malcolm X, and his family, and all those all those who are representing the representations of him, representatives of him and the family. See? So, all we have to do now is be dutiful and be righteous. So when it's called upon, see, the globe, yeah, that put pressure, severe pressure upon the legal administration. So when I say that, me I was a call that brother there, that Monday. And now, him have a whole heap of problem, because him can win the election, you know. But you see how them country are deal with him. So I used to call him Nero. And you see, him a get cheated like Nero. Him behave like Nero. And now he's being cheated, he's being ostracized like Nero. But in the allegory of Nero, of Rome, he finish up killing himself. When them call it suicide. Huh? So, it's not we have to watch him. We have to listen and see what go on and realize that this is what they're doing to themselves. See? And Nero was not wrong. It's just that they don't want him. You understand? I am saying Nero was not wrong. It's just that a set of people within their system don't want him. So now you see why something so atrocious happened to Melek El Shabazz and Dr. Martin Luther King. See? Oh, yes. But Nero, the last president, when I can see what am I do with him. So where I say we must be in support of Melek El Shabazz, Alma Wali, Malcolm X's family, and those who are taking care of or executing the case. You know? Yes, we have to be in attendance and stand to attention and make them know that we're not just saying he's a black man and no, we look justice. No matter where the pendulum fall, justice. Yes, whether it's fall on some black man, white man, we are deal with justice because it's human did this. See? We will get down to the color and all them other things later. You understand? Because if we work with justice based on color, we're not going nowhere. We're just as bad as the same racist set of people. Nah. We deal with justice based on humanity. See? So we have the guidance. We're gone. Spread the word, you know. My show is good, I tell you.